I get into these jovial moods, these free-flowing, careless moods, and I just enjoy turning on the camera, talking all kinds of riff-raff, and sometimes I laugh hysterically at my own content. This video probably could turn out that way, but it doesn't seem that way. Maybe I should whisper some more. You see, I'm so tired. It's my negative thoughts. My negative thoughts are getting me tired. Is it true that negative thoughts can make you more exhausted? They can make you more tired. They make it so that you're just dragging ass all day. Stop itching your eye. You're getting on the nerve. You're getting on the nerve ending. So this is one of the times that I turn on the camera and I just riff-raff. I just free flow the whole damn thing. I don't know what to talk about. All I know is I want to talk about something. I want to get something off my chest, even though there's nothing on my chest. I just want to put something on my chest to get it off. So I was thinking earlier, as I often do, in the car, and I had a really good idea, a really good topic I felt that was really important. But now that I turn on the camera and I think to myself about this topic, I'm like, the topic sucks, and I don't even feel like talking about it anymore. But it was so good in the car while I was driving. And you might have this issue as well if you're I don't know. I'm sort of eccentric. I'm kind of unhinged, and I'm unhinged. That's not even the word I want to use. I'm just out there a little bit. You know, I'm uncontrollable. Of course I am. But the thing that I want to talk about, it is the pain that human beings feel, whether it be physical pain or emotional pain, and the pain that we put ourselves through, and the pain that we feel due to other human beings. And what I was saying earlier while I was talking to myself in the car while I wasn't recording, God forbid, I just wasn't, I was talking to myself without a camera in my face. Can you believe that? I admit it, guys. I admit it. I was talking to myself in the car. You know, just like I'm doing right now, actually. I was just shooting the shit. Nobody was sitting next to me, and I was just talking like this. Anyway. Yeah, so it was kind of like this. Let me brace myself. I have to take a deep breath because this is really heavy stuff. And of course, you may be a little bit offended. You may be frightened out of your pants. Look, I get like this at night, okay? I don't know whether it's the caffeine and the energy drinks, the crash associated with it, and then I just don't want to go to sleep at night. And if I go to sleep too early, I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, scroll my phone for an hour, and then go back to sleep. This habit happens somewhere. It started somewhere, and I don't know why it continues to move on. But we're going to get back to the point here. The pain that human beings feel, right? And just bear with me. Please, just bear with me. Am I having trouble breathing? Like, why am I having such trouble breathing? Did I not go for a walk today? I think that's what it is. I didn't walk today. I just did a quick walk. I need to get out more. I need to start jogging again. You know, I was in the habit of jogging every day when the weather was nice, but since we're having winter weather, still, this weather, by the way, has been throwing me off so much because it's supposed to be hot right now. And, you know, every year for the past 3 years, I know it's been like this in the summer. In June, in May and June. We're wearing sweaters and stuff in June. Everybody's got their hoodies on today. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, this weather is throwing me off. It is affecting my mood, and it's affecting my activity. Usually I'll get in the summertime, because the end of spring, which is right now, is summer. It's supposed to be like summer weather. You know, we're talking end of May. Today's June 1st. We're supposed to be having 80-degree weather. Right now, it's 40 something degrees out. So, and it's been like this for most of the month of May, and I hope it doesn't stay that way. But anyway, it has been throwing me off. I've been going out for jogs when it was 80 degrees, 75 degrees. And then when it gets into the 50s and 40s, I say, forget it. I don't go out and I don't continue my exercises. This time of year is supposed to be hot weather. My body knows it. And I'm not reacting, or let's say, shall we say, things are not moving along the way they should be because of the weather. Whether it's manipulated or not, doesn't matter. It is not conducive to my personal growth. So back to the topic of the pain that we feel as humans. And I mean, that can be a small pain in a way too. And I'll get to the point in a minute. But first I want to mention where some of the pain is derived from. A lot of it is self-inflicted. And I'll go over that as well. Because I'm such a genius. I don't know. It's just one of those things where you're like, all right, forget it. Let me go down the path that I'm focused on right now. Sons of bees. Okay? This is not the type of video where, this is what I have to say right now. This is not going to be the type of video where you're going to have like the bullet pointed list and everything listed one after another, concise and perfect manner for you logical heads. It's not going to be that way. It's unhinged. It's all over the place. It's ADHD or whatever. It's not going to be your perfect video. Okay? This is not a classroom. This is just a conversation. So where was I? I felt like I had the need to let that be known, because these videos that I'm recording right now are not about anything but me having a good time. And if you find any value in that, then that's perfectly fine. If not, you're going to kick rocks anyway. You're not going to click on the video. You're going to thumbs down it and you're going to run away and go watch something else. Go watch Harvard Business Reviews or stock trading. Anyway, I'm getting carried away. The point of the video, okay? The pain that we feel as humans. Now, I was getting to the point, I get distracted. But the whole point that I'm getting to here is this. Human beings cause the pain, the frustration, the fear. They're all amplified by us or turned down by us. Now, relationships could be the biggest source of pain, whether it be physical or emotional. And relationships with other people are the biggest source of pleasure, whether it be physical or emotional. And what you'll notice is a lot of times when, let's just take a romantic relationship, for example. That can be a big source of pleasure and a big source of pain. Now, if you allow another person, and you bestow the power to them to give you pleasure and pain, now you just handed over the control mechanism, which should be yours to begin with. So in the car, I had a whole thing about that, but I don't even want to go down that route right now. See, this is just off the cuff. What I want to talk about instead is this. Frustration. The pain of frustration. Because this is one that I struggle with, where I get frustrated with other people, especially in traffic or just incompetent people in general that don't do things efficiently. And that starts to get on my nerves. Now, I'm the one allowing that to get on my nerves. And when I realize I have the choice to not let it affect me that much, then I ask myself, why do I always allow the frustration to make me feel that way? When in actuality, I don't want to feel that way because I know it's counterproductive in the end. At the end of the day, it is counterproductive to get frustrated all day long. For one thing, you ruin your energy. You only have your energy for the day is finite. If you spend it all angry and flustered and frustrated, fuming all day, you don't have any more creative energy left. You just used it up, buddy. So I guess that's one of the reasons why I turn on the camera, to express some of these things, because it's kind of like an outlet for me. But also, I want to remind myself to catch myself before I get frustrated with somebody that's driving the wrong way in traffic. A lot of drivers cause a lot of unnecessary traffic the way they're driving. And it's funny that TikTok and Instagram like to show me videos of drivers doing this, and they like to show me car accidents. For some reason, the algorithm knows that I drive all day, and I have to deal with other people on the road. But I took it upon myself to say, you know what? I need to let certain things go. Somebody drive, like just yesterday, it happened too. It's almost every day. Just yesterday, right? I'll explain the scenario perfectly because you have to understand what happened. Yesterday, people were driving crazy. There was a lot of accidents on the road. Some crazy driver. Now, I'm behind somebody. I'm like one car length behind somebody. Behind me, there's nobody. And there's somebody coming up behind me. I see them in my side mirror. And they got their turn signal on. They want to cut in front of me. Not all the way up in front of the car in front of them. I think there was nobody in front of them anyway. But for some reason, whatever the reason is, the person wanted to cut in front of me with their red car. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So when they cut in front of me, they got in front of me, but they didn't maintain the same speed, and they were going slow in front of me. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to go around. And I still had room to turn because I was going to make a right turn probably about a third of a mile up the road. And as I try to go around, then they speed up. And I'm looking at the dude, and he gives me the finger, right? And I'm like, this guy would never give me that. He's some pudgy dude, some pudgy little dweeb, balding, this middle-aged guy, probably looks like he's 27, going bald, fat, pasty skinned bastard. And I'm like, all right, now I'm getting behind you, and I'm going to follow you, and I'm going to go to where you're going, and we're going to get out the car at the same time, and I'm going to see if you still have that same energy. I'm like, okay. So I'm calm, right? And I'm right behind him. And I'm thinking I'm going to do this, right? I'm going to get out of the car wherever he goes. And then I caught myself. I said, you know what? I'm being petty right now. I already know he doesn't want a problem. And I already know I'll scare him when he gets out of the car and I'm right there next to him. He had his girl in the car. You can see, I don't know if it was his girl, but he had a female in the passenger side. So I'm thinking he's stupid to do that in front of his girl. But at the last minute, I said, you know what? Let me just let it go. What am I doing? So this is just an example here. And because, when somebody does that, it's like, oh, you're challenging me. You want the problem. You want all the smoke, right? And let me tell you, I would have loved to pull up next to him because he was not tough. This guy was not tough like that. I would have punked him right in front of his girlfriend. And it would have felt so good. It would have felt so good. My energy would have felt great. And I felt like I kind of had to take the hit. I felt like it's almost like I took a loss because I just let it go. But in actuality, I didn't take a loss because I would have been super hyped up and supercharged even if I did punk him. Even if I pulled up behind him and said, "Oh yeah, you still got that same energy right now?" And then, whatever his reaction is, maybe he would have been like acting tough, and then maybe we would have gotten into a fight. But, whatever would have happened, not only is it actually a waste of my time to even do that, and it's kind of petty when I think about it, when I think back on it, it's like, dude, am I that petty? You know what I'm saying? I think I must have petty tendencies to do that. Because whatever, he acted tough in front of his girlfriend, which when people do that type of thing, the karma always catches up to him because he's probably going to do it to somebody else. And there's another motherfucker out there like me, probably in a really bad mood, that is going to follow him and give him the business. So he's probably going to get his karma sooner or later acting like this in public. And when I think about it now, I was vexed when this happened. But I think about it today and I'm like, I'm glad I didn't punk him. It wouldn't have proved anything, really. I know he's not tough. It would have wasted my time because I was trying to go somewhere to do something. So I would have had to take time away from that to go handle what I termed business. It really has no business. I'm not making money doing it. So therefore, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. And by me going to feed into that negativity, it does nothing for anybody, actually. So yeah, maybe I thought it would have taught him a lesson, which it probably would have. It might have taught him a lesson, but is it my job to teach him a lesson? No, he's going to end up teaching himself the lesson when he continues to act that way. So it's bound to happen. Now, I didn't need to get all worked up over it. I didn't need to feed into it continuously, even though I would love to follow him and do that. And it would have felt great for me. Feeling great actually was something that was under my control, whether I did that or not. And when I was thinking about it, because anger is pain in disguise. So me getting angry, it's actually a pain that I want to handle. I want to express something to get rid of the pain. When in actuality, I just needed to laugh it off and, go about my day. We all have the control to how much frustration, anger, pain, and fear that we feel because of a certain event that may happen to us. Now, whether it be through romantic relationships between family members or business partners, the list goes down the line. Other human beings can do something to which we interpret them giving us pain, but it is the way that we handle it. Like, if we don't take accountability for the way that we feel when somebody does something that we term to be disrespectful or inconsiderate. You got to understand, human beings do what they do. We're all flawed in some way. And nothing from anybody is ever going to be perfect for you all the time. And it's kind of immature to think that to expect human beings to act perfectly every single day. It's not going to happen. You have a lot of ignorant people that will take it to the level of going to jail over something stupid. And that's another thing too. When I thought about this, thought like, I was on the way to follow the dude into the parking lot. Now, by the looks of it, I said he's a punk and he can't mess with me, and I'm gonna show him what I'm really about. But you never know. He could have been some crazy ass dude, pulled out a weapon, and I would have been in a situation, and then maybe sitting in a jail cell, or maybe something could have happened. You never know. You see what I'm saying? And now, if I were to tell this to like my mother or something like that, or my grandmother, they would be like, "Dude, like, please don't do that." You know what I'm saying? Like, like, calm down. What's going on with you? Are you angry teenager still? But um, my point is this: we're all not perfect. So yeah, I had an imperfect thought. I wanted to react physically and get into an altercation with Buddy over here. But I caught myself. I caught myself in time. Now, my younger self wouldn't have caught myself like that. My younger self would have pulled up right next to him. And then, you know, we get to scrapping, and that's that. But see, the old habit of me dealing with this pain or frustration in that way was creeping in because it's almost part of my DNA. Everything that happens in your adolescent years entrenched itself into your nervous system. So automatically you react in a certain way, and it is your responsibility to override that deeply ingrained emotional reaction. And a lot of people never grow out of it. You have people my age and older that will still react this way. And I've seen an old guy in traffic, probably 65 years old, acting like the road rage was through the roof. Like the guy would have definitely got hurt if I got out of the car and really wanted to do something. So I'm seeing this guy, he's swerving behind me, beeping the horn, screaming at the top of his lungs. And he had his wife in the car too. And I'm just looking back at him like, you'll get hurt, man. Like, you can do all you want. You can swerve around and beep the horn and scream. I see you. There's nothing you can do to me. And at that time, I'm like, this is just an old guy. Like, if I actually put the car in park at the red light and got out, he probably would have got out and got knocked out. Some people are that delusional to where they will put themselves in danger. And this guy was really willing to put himself in danger. And if I were to get out, I'm putting myself in danger too, because one thing you got to realize is you don't know if somebody has a weapon. He might have had a knife, a gun, anything. So you don't know that. So just looking at somebody like that, it could be messy. It could be. The thing is when you get into a situation and you realize you reacted emotionally to something, and you say, well, I could have done this, I could have done that, I could have said something, you don't want to sit there and regret saying what you could have done. You want to get good at preventing mishaps and all kinds of stupid shit from happening. So, I mean, the point of this whole thing is we have more control than we think we do. And it's part of growing up and being mature to controlling these reactions that get a hold of us. And I'm only human, and I'm coming up here, and it's kind of embarrassing to even admit it. And sometimes when I record these videos, I'm like, you know what? I probably won't even post it, but I will post it. Sometimes I will record a video, and if it's too off the wall, I won't even post it. But I don't care. It's like, this is my brain dump, really. A lot of people will do a brain dump and not give it to the world. It's not like Of course, the whole world doesn't see it. I get very small amount of views on the YouTube channel, but at the same time, it has a potential to reach a large audience. And if, like, it would be if I uploaded this video, for example, and it got like 100,000 views, because normal videos like this sometimes do get over 100,000 views, then I'd be like, oh shit. I didn't expect that many people to see my vulnerable video that I just wanted to record in my room, brain dumping on random topics and embarrassing myself. Now what? Like, well, they already saw it now. I wonder if there's anybody I know that saw it. But you see, I don't think like this when I'm recording a video. I don't think like, oh, I wonder if my boss is going to see it, or, an ex-girlfriend or a family member is going to see it and, look at me sideways when they see me next time. Like, yo, this dude's crazy. I don't think like that with this, because for one thing, nobody's going to see it. Like, my channel is probably in the restricted zone where it's like, all right, don't give him too much views. He talks about certain things that you're not supposed to talk about on here. But anyway, I just lost my train of thought. You see what I'm saying? This is what happens when you record these type of videos. You lose your train of thought. I guess, to wrap up the video, I just want to say this, man. Recording videos or brain dumps and audio things like this, it's therapeutic. It's therapeutic to me. And I think if you're the same type of personality that I am, I think it would help you a lot to do these types of things. You don't have to do it with a camera. You can pull out your phone and, well, Apple, I know, has an audio recording. You just press record and you talk into your phone like you're talking on the phone with somebody, and it records everything. Or you can record a conversation on the phone with a friend or whatever, but record yourself talking, brain dumping, just expressing yourself, because something really unique happens when you can listen back to what you're saying. And I mentioned this in a video, like a couple of videos back, but you gain a lot of different insight. And this is something that I missed when I was talking about it before. Like, it really gives you a broader perspective on yourself. It's almost like you psychoanalyze yourself. You wouldn't be able to do that if you just, recorded it and never listened to it. But if you listen to it with that kind of perspective where you're psychoanalyzing yourself, there's a lot to be noticed and there's a lot to be learned about yourself as a person. And you can make adjustments to not just, the way you talk or cutting out your filler words that you may notice, but also certain things that you want to improve upon. And this goes for like looking at older recordings. Like, I have recordings that I look at from years ago, like 5-10 years ago. And I'm like, wow, I made some improvements since then. Because look at it. If you're not looking at any kind of improvements that you made, you're sitting in what's called the gap. And that's a negative place to be. You want to be more in the gain. You want to focus on things that you've accomplished, where you've got better, the strengths that you've improved upon, because that's where your spirits are going to be lifted. So that's pretty much it, man. You don't have to hit the like button if you don't want to. But if you do, shout out to you, respect. Leave me a comment. Let me hear your thoughts on what I do. If you found value in this, I would definitely encourage other people to do the same thing. Peace. I'm out.